Hi. So before I leave the house, I decided I wanted to do a reading for myself to just like help myself get into the mood, I guess, for going to do life kind of stuff. And then I thought I'll share this. I'm going to share this reading, and I asked for a more general, helpful reading, just to share this process that I could use sometimes to uplift myself, which is like grabbing a message from spirit, like utilizing the faith that I have and the trust that I have in something higher orchestrating this all for us, me. So I've done like this reading and I'm just gonna kind of flow through it. I've already laid it all out. I was recording while I did the shuffling and dealing, but I had landscapers outside and it was 2 minutes in and I was still doing cards and I thought, well, kind of boring. Let's cut this part out. Ooh, I feel a sneeze coming on. Okay. So, so I asked for messages about, kind of just something most helpful to be considered right now in our lives. So I'm going to try to speak in a very general sense so that you can use your own subconscious to interpret the message that's coming through for you, okay? So the first part of this reading has to do with the past, where we're coming from, where we were and what we were coming with into this moment that we're in now. We were enjoying life, being free, being in nature, enjoying the beauty and the sense and sensuality of all of it. And maybe it felt like more of a fantasy to have it all. That having it all, the win, the job, the project, the relationship, it was all like this distant vision maybe. And we were just didn't know how to deal with that. And it was like avoid that. We feel alone, like it's up to us, all up to us. We have a lot on our backs and riding on our shoulders, and it is really true, but without the proper tools, it can feel very overwhelming, like it can never win, and like it's just this far off utopian dream that can't be achieved. And if emotions is the way through, then it feels very overwhelming and kind of dangerous and hidden and mysterious um, and we were just willing to keep trying and trying and trying and trying the same old thing because we didn't know anything else to try. Um, and the vision, the higher vision was lacking for what this all means. Okay, so, oh, okay. So it sounds like we're coming into this reading from a place of just not knowing as much, and feeling like something's missing, and feeling like there's got to be more, feeling like not really, okay, content, but like knowing there's more, and like how do I get that, and those kind of feelings. Presently at the time of this reading, we are feeling like we're in a new environment. Something's new, like it feels weird, it feels different, it feels like we can't stay here anymore. Um, we're ready to give up the fight. We're ready, and though, or either that, or we're ready to prove to everyone that we're willing to sacrifice ourselves. But either way, victimization is at play. Okay, so this is wonderful because this is the stage. Okay, so we've been in this transition between 3D living in the 3D, including this other part of our world, our life, which is this part of life that we don't see, another dimension, the fourth dimension, right? We can't see it, but it's still there. You know, we see the 3 dimensions. We know what 2 dimensions look like. We know what 1 dimension looks like, but we're needing to acknowledge the fourth dimension when it feels very intimidating to come into that dimension. And it does feel like you're kind of victimized, and you can be victimized because in the third dimension you accumulated all these beliefs and thoughts about what reality was, and then when you go into the fourth dimension and there's no barrier of time anymore, now this is included in this. Now everything's happening at the same time. So the reality you're creating is in fact the reality that you are believing, and it can be harsh because it's now no buffer. Like in the 3D, it took a lot of time for you to see the belief come back and show up in your reality. But right now, it can feel like we're being victimized because we are being victimized by our own beliefs. We're in new space. We're new way to handle things, and it's a natural stage to go through. Feeling like, because if you have all these beliefs and you're not aware of them yet, but you're becoming aware of them by seeing them. If you didn't know that that's what you were doing, is becoming aware of your beliefs, then you would just feel like a victim. So this knowledge is meant to empower you right now. That's why you're watching this, is so that you understand that this is possible, that to take back your power by looking at what's coming at you and seeing what you must believe in order for that to be true, and then just tweaking that. Now, spending more time outdoors, this card is the challenge. So there's a challenge to that for whatever reason, probably because it was raining and storming. Although being outside in a storm, I'm sad I missed it. But being out in nature is going to be helpful. And it may be a challenge to do so because of quarantine or whatever reasons we have. But I think that this is telling us that that's a nice, peaceful place where people aren't going to bother us. We're not going to be distracted. Leave your phone in your car somewhere, like let yourself be with yourself. Feel that victim. Feel that way all the ways you feel victimized. Feel them. Feel them. Let be okay. Let it be okay. Don't act on them. Don't act on the pain of them. Know that it's a pain that's passing through. This is your chance to process through and see things in you and let go of them. And the reason we're doing this is for our happily ever after. Like, this is in our hands to create. In this new space we're in, these are the new rules. Now what we think and believe becomes our reality. What we perceive is what we're going to live. And we have full control over it. So we're being given back our power completely. And being in nature is so nice because nature has all the lessons built in. You can learn them all just by observing. It's really what we want to make it. It's really our creation. And the reason why this card, Happily Ever After, is in this now, in the present pile, is because that's where our happily ever after is. It's in this moment. We're able to be in this moment without looping in these patterns. That's where it is at, like this freedom. Let's see. Alright, so the reason we're slowing down right now is anywhere where we haven't created the win-win-win um, is part of the dream that's crumbling. Like, we're giving up on that. This Pisces energy is like very spiritual. It's very flowing. It's very freeing. This is our chance to recreate with the win-win-win in mind, to create the happily ever after for everyone, and that's available in this moment. And the win-win-win is simply whatever I'm doing and focusing on and putting my energy into is a win for me, therefore a win for you, a win for everyone, and including Mother Earth. So if your business is based on something that makes people lose out, your business profits from the loss of others, it's not going to sustain in this new world that we're creating. In this stillness, we're being shown anywhere that's the case. Anywhere where we're taking and creating deficits for people is not going to fly anymore. That's why people are being forced to find new ways to cope. And what needs to be said? I don't know how to feel. Oh boy, that makes so much sense, because maybe part of what's happening to show us that we can move through feelings, that we're being forced to move through feelings, so we don't feel the same way from one moment to the next. And it makes sense, that we don't grasp on them, right? We do have to use some logic. Let's let this flow through. Let's flow, and then we'll get some clarity. Act from the flow of the clarity, not the flow of the overwhelming emotion. When you don't know how you feel, then it's not time to act. Right? But this is also a part of making a wish, wish coming true. So what we create in our minds, what we want, it matters. It matters. So make it the wish. Make it big. Don't limit yourself. Be like a kid in a candy shop, like just in awe of life and what you could create, and let yourself be. Like, that is. And where is this heading? To the future pile. Why do that? It's heading to your desire. Everything you desire is within reach. Through the surrender, that it's like this card is actually, this middle pile, to go back to the middle pile, is saying, let yourself feel the ways that you feel victimized. Let it be. Don't be too proud to feel like a victim. It's not going to be that way always, but when you resist something, that's when you fight against it and you create a barrier, and then, this is a block. It's like a prison wall. So the flow is going to allow you to absorb and integrate that information and move along with it, grow, because that's what life is. And so that growth is the thing that is needed, the ingredient to capture and create the desire, to call it in. I mean, it's like your desire is within reach, like reach for it, but you have to really look. She's like using the flute, the music, to call it in. She's like being in her passion. It's like it naturally comes to you when you're in that flow of being in the passion, that the thing that you're here to do, the thing that you lose track of time doing. That is the way through. That's what you do. And okay, so we're coming into a time where the mother, the feminine, is equal, is important, is dependent on as much as the masculine. The mothers that we have now, the mothers are going to be allowing this for the next generation. We're freeing our generations by doing this now. We are freeing our future generations from having to live in these patterns. Our future generations are being born to mothers who know their desires are within reach and who are in the growth mindset. Wow, that's so beautiful. We're coming into a time of knowing this and knowing that all we have to do is pray and trust and flow and be guided through that space of flow where there is not a struggle and there isn't lack, and just know that we are held children of God, and whatever God means to you. To me, it's this kind, loving universe. And we will be fully in this new space. So in the present, we may be in this fourth dimension, but we're coming. We're priming ourselves. We're getting ready. We're creating a new space to step into, and then we step into the new space. Through the prayers and the trust and the knowing and the growth and the creation becomes ours. What we're doing right now. That's really exciting. And yeah, so this card is meant to be advice for the future. Oh, AC is ascendant, so it tells me it's the energy of how how the people you know see you, and how you like to show yourself to the people you know. And to me, it's like this is an integration of who we really are coming right to the surface and being shown, and all masks dropped. Because there's no reason to deceive or manipulate or hide who we really are when we all know that we're all just on a journey of growth that starts at various degrees, ranges, and angles that are all valid and need to be experienced. And so we just come as we are. We're stepping into a place where we come as we are. There's no more hiding. There's no more need to hide. It's not scary. You don't have to be scared of not. What needs to be said? We're coming into a place where we're just forgiving everybody. We're just, who we really are on the surface is allowing forgiveness and asking for forgiveness and making amends where needed and building bridges wherever possible. Wherever this needs to be said, we're coming into the place where we can say it. We couldn't right now. We're not ready. We're not ready yet. That's okay. Because we don't know how to feel. But when we come to a place where we want to be forgiven, it's time. Okay, that's this card. Literally, I asked what needs to be said. So, what needs to be said. Oh, look at what needs to be said. The other contributing factor to this last pile, love. So we're stepping into love. We're stepping into whatever we need to know that this is a loving universe of just divine orchestration. And that as we trust, like we can prime ourselves to step into this new place that we haven't experienced yet, where there's just love. We just nurturing, where people are dependable. See, Yes, the Queen of Diamonds. Abundance. It's like abundance. She's got a flower. She's, diamonds. It's like dressed. I believe it's diamonds, motherhood, dependable. Yeah, it's really abundance, and it's like whatever abundance is to you, and trusting will help. Trusting's the doorway. Trusting and knowing. So, what we're being slowed down to deal with in the moment, is the stuff that's in the way of trusting. And before we were doing this, before we got to here, we were just frustrated. So we asked for this space. We, out of our frustration and not knowing what to do and putting it on the back burner for long enough that we didn't know, how else to deal with it, and not having the tools because we were relying on ourselves fully, and not able to ask for help and not knowing there was help to be had or what would be done. Now we know that there is help. It's just like, we need to go inward and trust ourselves and be with ourselves in ways that we hadn't before, but in ways that obviously the universe is supporting us in doing. The universe is supporting us in doing this, you know, and perhaps there are people who are not feeling as supported, and I understand that. And like, it's a chance to look at the situation, give something up that's not working anymore. It's a chance to change something. If we don't like something, we do have to change it. And like, there are going to be barriers, and like, what the barriers are probably things that are not win-win-wins. They had to go. And you might want to say like, oh God, come change this. Give me my happily ever after, God. I trust in you. I trust in you. But gosh, someone said this the other day and it hit me so hard. What if, you're part of God, you're God's messenger, you're God's tool. What if you're the one who has to make the change? You know? You're the one who has to create the win-win-win by disassembling the win-lose-lose that you've been participating in, which might be painful, which might be difficult. And that's why a reading like this is giving us hope for the future and an understanding of the bigger picture. It's validating what we've been through, it's acknowledging where we are at, and it's letting us know why we're doing this, reminding us why we're doing this. We all know. We all know. All of these readings are just remembrances. Um, that's why if it feels right, you trust it, and if it doesn't, you don't, and that's perfect. You know? So I love that. I love that we're all getting permission to be who we really are. Yay! Alright, so I guess I gotta go fill water jugs and be who I really am while I'm doing it. That doesn't seem that hard. Thanks for watching.